All right. Are you going live?
Yeah, I'm live. Do it live. Do it live. We've been sorry, people. We've been waiting for Philly.500. Oh, she'll be back by then.
You want a war? You're going to get one.
I got to put up with this shit. I literally have to put up with this shit.
Drop it.
What was that? He had no time for one more play.
Had an opportunity to win that game.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
The brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
only Cowboys
Seriously.
You
The
literally.
brother screwed us. The brother screwed us. We had one opportunity for one more play.
Dallas still stinks.
Can we sue Philly?
Yo, by the way, King Dig back here, and welcome to the show. We got a special guest. We got the greatest Cowboy fan ever to be, Mr. Mark Holmes. Mark, what is up, buddy?
Michael Anthony Fitness has said, where's his check? He's going to copyright you for that. For the brother screwed us. For the brother screwed us. He wants his money, man. He said, bitch better have my money.
I don't blame him, but I haven't gotten my check to give him anything yet. You know what I'm saying?
Your check for what?
You know, I think the Justin Jefferson's ass that you've played a million times, right? All those meltdowns.
It was
How about all those
980,000.
live streams you got me up? You know, when I get my paycheck, we'll
You know, Mark Holmes, Michael Anthony Fitness, and the Dallas Cowboys. If it wasn't for us, you'd be broke ass.
Four more. Mark, I got years of going to. I've been on here 6 years. I've had 3 Super Bowl appearances on my time on YouTube. 3. I'm pretty busy, regardless, man. I'm pretty busy.
You know what?
My team's winning.
It clarity just happened. I just realized what the hell is going on. I hadn't heard from you in quite a while, or anything like that. I get Dan Salio, hey Mark, can you come on today? Right? And so I come on there and everything else. And then I see the two of you guys fighting it out and everything else and arguing. I'm just kicking back and enjoying. I was like, damn, can we go for another hour? And now you're like, hey, we need to do something together. Is it that you guys are getting scared and worried that maybe this season isn't like last year, and that you're trying to get your licks in now?
Not worried at all. No, it's just that you finally did something of relevance that I could say, well, listen, maybe Dallas can be competitive a little bit now, as where you guys were just. You were just like on the Giants level. Let's be honest.
So wait. So you actually just fixed the narrative for us. You actually have pointed out that we didn't have enough talent to be competitive. Is that what you just are admitting?
You were irrelevant.
We were irrelevant because we didn't have the talent.
Yeah.
Because you always just say we just suck because we have a team full of chokers.
Oh yeah, you have that too, but that has nothing to do with last year. I mean, clearly, I have said this for the last year that you don't have any weapons that scare us. You have one guy, you have no running game. I mean, I've said this over and over again. Now, the argument I make with you in terms of talent
Here we
is
go.
that your
Hit me over the head with the quarterback.
Years he has not been without talent. Maybe last year too, but come on. He hasn't been without talent, Mark.
He's had nothing. Okay. Explain to me when Dak Prescott has had the kind of talent that the Philadelphia Eagles have right now.
The year he threw 37 touchdowns, and he was runner-up.
We didn't have no.
What?
We didn't have that defense. We didn't have that defense. Okay.
Oh.
We didn't have that defense that you guys. I'm actually
You don't
praising
have-
you
you don't
because
have-
you have
you don't
amassed
We
a
had a
boatload of
great
talent.
defense. Look, in 2017, we didn't have the greatest defense either. We allowed over 500 yards in the Super Bowl, and we still won.
Okay.
Your guy can't even get out
You still had
into
more
the
talent than we
championship.
did, bro.
Come on, Mark.
Ours
You
has
even
been
admitted he was a runner-up.
spotty as far as talent. People will go through and say, "Oh, well, he had Amari Cooper and Zeke." Zeke has had 1,000 yard season since 2019, and it was barely over 1,000. Honestly,
but
no.
2016 to 2019, Zeke was one of the best running backs in the league.
Yeah, and until we got Amari Cooper, we didn't really have a good receiver. We were on the tail end of Jason Witten. Jason Witten went to the Raiders, sucked up there, went to the booth, and he came back. We have not had quality tight ends. We have not had two great receivers except for 21.
Not everybody. You're not going to always have everything at every position. But
you did this year, and you won the Super Bowl with it. How did you do without it the year before?
We've won it twice. We've won it twice, Mark. We won it without a starting quarterback.
And you know what? You know what gives me hope? At 2017, you were coming off of being the number 4 seed. You had that 4th place schedule. Nobody thought, Jack, that you guys were going to do anything. It was kind of like the Commanders this year. Everybody kind of said, well, the Commanders are going to be a couple of years away. Nobody expected the Commanders. They basically jumped out on people because nobody expected it. And that's a team that's full of themselves right now.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Roll Philly Dogs, thank you for the super chat. He says, George Pickens is like the 6th best receiver in the East, and he's a 1-year rental, and the Cowboys think they won. Your thoughts, Mark?
Well, okay. For those out there, first of all, everybody's going through and saying he's a hothead and he's got, edge and stuff. What's amazing is people said the same thing about Antonio Brown. And remember when he went to the Raiders, when the Steelers got rid of him, he went to the Raiders and he, in August, had frostbite on his feet and had the problem with the helmet and everything else, to the point where the Raiders said, this guy's a head case and let him go. He goes to New England and then, plays pretty well there and then goes to Tampa Bay and wins the Super Bowl. I don't think Pickens is quite as crazy as Antonio Brown. And, people are probably looking at Antonio Brown going against, what's his name the other day, saying, man, maybe he can still play. So that's the first part about this. If you're going to tell me, if you told me 2 weeks ago that the Cowboys were going to get Pickens for a 3rd-round pick, he was going to be $3.6 million and is going to come in and basically saying, I want to prove that I'm worth my money. I'm not worried about a new contract. I'd say that's a freaking steal. Worst case is he comes in and he balls out and he leaves. Well, we get our pick back. Right? Compensatory pick.
What was the trade? You get your pick back?
Well, no, listen. We traded a 3rd-round pick.
Okay.
If he balls out and doesn't want to sign a contract with us and go sign one with somebody else, we're going to probably get a 3rd or 4th round compensatory.
Get a 4th round compensatory.
Well, depending on how big the contract is.
No. I talked to a Steeler friend. He said they were getting a 4th for him, compensatory wise. So
they're not getting a compensatory pick for trading him.
No, they wouldn't. No, beforehand they would have. So they took the 3rd, and that's why they moved them. Because I talked to a friend. It's like, why the hell would you trade Pickens to the Cowboys? What are you guys dumb?
Okay, well, he's an idiot. It all depends on how big of a contract it is. You can get from a 3rd on down. It's depending on how much money this guy gets paid as far as the contract goes. If he comes through in Dallas and he's got 1,000 yards and wants to walk, I can guarantee he's going to get a big fat contract. I mean, hell, Cooper Kupp got $15 million and he's coming off year after year being injured. Look at what Devontae Adams signed for. What, $25 million? So if he signs a contract like that, you're going to get a 3rd pick. To me, this beats going ahead and get Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Amari Cooper probably would have cost us more than that. So we're getting all the haters out here that are saying, "Oh, this doesn't move the needle."
Poor guy.
I love it. I love it. Haters, come along. Come on.
Hey,
talk shit to me.
I got him. I'm sure they're here with questions. Bubba says, "Did you read the report that nobody wanted Pickens and teams actually laughed when Pittsburgh called about trading for him?"
Okay.
He says
Yeah.
okay.
But now hold on. Wasn't AJ Brown somewhat of a diva? Wasn't there some stuff back there about him?
I think Cilio made that up.
Well, he makes up a lot of shit.
I don't believe that.
But the Cowboys,
no,
you know what?
I mean,
more than anything else, everybody talks about the Cowboys culture and how they're a bunch of, that when the first sign of trouble, we choke. You know what? I'm glad we actually got somebody that's a little bit edgy. Somebody that's got a chip on his shoulder that's going to say F you. And I don't have a problem with, from time to time, somebody with a stupid ass penalty that sends a message. Now we'll see how this goes through, because you got some thugs on your team that scare the hell out of people.
Who?
Jalen Carter.
Carter's a beast.
He's a beast, man. Shit. I mean, he cries from time to time, but he's still a thug.
Oh, you talking about that 49ers situation? Yeah. Well, roll Philly.500 Super Jingles. Every wide receiver Steelers let go are never the same.
Antonio Brown. He won the Super Bowl, didn't he?
Did he win one in Pittsburgh?
He won one.
Tampa, right?
He won one in Tampa.
Yeah, I think he won one in Tampa.
He was crazy.
Yeah, he's crazy.
He was crazy, but he won one. He could still play, and that's the bottom line.
So when you guys lose you go to the playoffs, you win 11 games, 12 games. You go to the playoffs. You get to the playoffs that first round, and you lose again. Are you going to say, "Damn it, my quarterback does not win big games"?
Hold on. Let's see. This is the problem here. Everybody's now all of a sudden, our team has been ass. We were a 7-win team. Now people got us talking, well, they got to be odds favorite now to win the division. It's one player. You got a brand new coach, okay? You got all new coaches. You've now got all these new players that have to now mesh together, and now the expectations are, hey, here they go. They're going to end up being a if it's not Super Bowl, it's a bust season. You can't put those expectations out there right now. Let's see what we got. Now, what I will say is this. No. If you honestly ask me, what the Cowboys have done is they have reset the clock as far as their players go. We have replaced. We've gotten younger. Typically, the Cowboys would sign Amari Cooper. Okay, that's the kind of move that they would normally make. Bringing in Pickens, he's only 24. He's young. That's a guy that if you can find a way to work with him, he's going to be good like A.J. Brown is. You're good for 4 or 5 years with that kind of player. There's longevity if you can get him to have the right attitude. And we've had players that have had attitudes like Charles Haley, of course, like T.O. and things like that. So it's not like we haven't had problem children before. But you take Zach Martin, and now you go ahead and you end up getting Booker. You get rid of D-Law, and you go through, and you end up getting Donovan Easy. You get rid of Brandon Cooks, you get Pickens. So you can look at 15 years of age that has literally just dropped off of the roster. And when I look at 2021, every offensive lineman that we had is now gone. This is a whole new team. They're young, and unlike back in the 90s where they got a group of young guys together and they were able to grow a couple of years of seasoning and then being able to play. More than anything else, that's what your team has done is you've got a bunch of guys that are young that have been able to be there consistently together, add some more pieces to it, and let them learn to play together. And that's why you guys scare me. You can't always just keep saying we're going to get a 1-year rental and then we're going to bring somebody else in, because now he's got to learn the system.
Right. The problem for you guys is that your quarterback's not getting younger.
No, he's not.
31. That's the issue. You have a window that you have to jump on right now. That's why I think the Pickens was the right move. Roll for Dave Super Chat. He said Antonio Brown played 8 games and was the third option, and Antonio Brown is 1,000 times better than Pickens is.
So hate on it. I'm cool with it.
Now let me ask you. I think Pickens helps you pass the game.
He does.
I agree. I think he's very talented. I don't think he's played with good quarterbacks. Yes, he is a head case, but it is what it is. I think your running game is still very suspect, though. Like, Jaden Blue, I see him as a complimentary type running back. I don't know I don't know what Miles Sanders even has left.
I don't think Miles Sanders is going to make the
Horrible in
roster.
Carolina. You don't think so?
I don't think he's going to make the roster. Okay,
And who was the other? Who's the other?
you got
back that you guys
Mustafa,
got?
who's more of a bruising back. He's big, he's strong. He would be ideally what you're looking for and hoping. And you got Jaden Williams in there as well. It's probably Jaden Williams will probably start, and you also then have Blue that'll be more like your Tony Pollard, and then Mustafa's your short yardage guy. It's not Saquon. I mean, I would love to be able to say we've got a bellwether back. We just don't have it. But the thing that hopefully helps this running game is that it is more balanced. Mike McCarthy loves to throw football. It's like I always say, do you like taking out the trash?
No.
No, but you do it because if you don't, your wife's going to be pissed at you, right?
Of course.
That's basically how Mike McCarthy is as far as running the football. He basically likes to throw about 65% of the time, in which case that makes it harder on a guy like Terrence Steele, who's not a great pass blocker because everybody knows we're setting you up on the pass blocking. But he's a great run blocker. He's 15th. I see you shaking your head. He's 15th by Pro Football Focus in run blocking grade. So
Hey,
if
I
you're
look like Mike McCarthy. That's what I said.
well, Mike McCarthy is going to take a lot of shit because this team will be better, but this team is better because the Cowboys are actually trying to do something.
You don't feel the need, like you don't feel the pressure though. Like you don't feel like, all right, everything starts in the playoffs for us. Like it doesn't matter. You could win 15 games. You don't feel like Dak has got to prove something.
I agree.
In the playoffs.
And here's what I will say. Right now, Dak has this is the first time you look at it and you say you got two legitimate wide receivers in their prime right now. My question is going to be is how is this offensive line going to be? Because we all know if you don't have an offensive line, it doesn't matter who you have as wide receivers if your quarterback's getting killed. And how good will the running game be? And I'm not talking shit or anything else. Those are unknowns that we don't know. Tyler Guyton was not good last year, and he's our left tackle. If he's not good, fuck, we're screwed. And you still have a rookie who's going to be taking the place of a future Hall of Famer. And those are legitimate questions.
Year center, right?
Yeah. Now Cooper Beebe, he's the real deal. He gave up 3 sacks as a rookie last year.
Yeah,
he was. Everybody wants to kill the Cowboys because they said, well, you used the first-round pick to get Tyler Guyton, but we traded back, but we got BB, and BB is really good. If we had drafted BB in the first round and he played like that, we would have said it was a good pick, but we got both of them. So legitimately, there's a lot of potential, but I still think it's going to take some time to put it together. And we're going to get judged on saying, well, you had Antonio. I mean, you had George Pickens, you had CD, and Dak just sucked. Well, we got a lot of unknowns.
What do you think when you look at Dallas, honestly now, and you look at the Eagles, where would you put them in rankings right now? I know you would put the Eagles in front.
You have to.
But do you literally feel that Dallas has done enough to overtake them in the NFC East?
No, we have not.
Look at that.
I know. I'm going to be honest with you. Look.
Okay, good.
You got. Come on, Philly. You had the best offensive line in football. Yes. You had the best running back in football.
Yes.
You have 2 stud best wide receivers. You end up having Dallas Goedert, who's a decent tight end.
Good tight end.
This reminds me of the Cowboys of the 90s because I look and say, where's the weak spot? Honestly, where's the weak spot on that offense?
Yeah. The big question for the Eagles could be the defense. The defense is young, so you got. Yeah, I think Jordan Davis is our longest tenured Eagle right now defensively. 3 years. Okay,
that's insane.
Zach Bond, 28, is the oldest player on defense. It's a young defense. So you have room to grow. Those young guys got to step up, huh?
Yeah, you got room to grow. Here's the way you can judge how your team is. How many players on the Eagles offense couldn't start on another team?
Yeah. Every
one of them could be a starter on another team.
Yeah.
Take a look at the
I
Dallas
agree.
Cowboys offense from last year and how many of those guys wouldn't be starters on another team. On that offensive
Yeah.
line. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, it's
That,
true. You guys stink.
and you know, that was because what I honestly will say is maybe this was a master plan that the Cowboys said we have to reset the clock, and that's why they didn't sign anybody last year. They ended up
Right.
now getting rid of all the big old guys contracts, the D-Laws, the Zach Martins and things, and they have cap space. Now, if I'm Jerry Jones right now, who's probably drinking some whiskey and all that, and patting himself on the back and feeling good, this is the time that I'd say that you should keep your foot on the gas pedal and keep on trying to build a couple of more moves. Then you're getting closer to being able to
So
compete
what do you
with you
think they
guys.
need? You give me one move that Dallas should make right now. If you could make one move,
I'm still
pick
worried
whatever
about the secondary because, Savon Ravel, highly rated, but he's coming off an ACL. He hasn't
Right.
played football since last September. Are we
won't be
expecting
this
him
year.
coming out from an ACL, hopefully being able to practice in training camp, and he's going to start now as a rookie and hasn't played in a
It always
year?
takes a full year.
I'm not ready for that one. And then you got Diggs,
Yeah.
who's got the microfracture surgery, and he's not going to be ready till the middle of the season. So my secondary. Now, we brought in Stephon Gilmore and talked to him a little bit. But again, that's another aging guy, and the Cowboys have pretty much gotten rid of.
What about Ramsey?
guy.
Would you be interested in Jalen Ramsey?
Again, another guy that's a little bit older and a big salary.
yeah.
So, here's the thing that's crazy is Dak is the oldest player on our roster at 31.
Yeah.
And we only have 4 other guys that are 30, one of which is a kicker, and Dante Fowler, which is basically a rental. Pretty much everybody, and the other 2 are journeymen that aren't going to see the field. So this team has gotten young, much like your defense is. And
Yeah.
they have room that they can continue to grow and add. Now, will the Cowboys add? I don't know. I didn't think that they were going to go for Pickens, but damn if they did. Give me your honest opinion, though.
Cooper. What's that?
Give me your honest opinion on your thoughts on how that changes the Cowboys from the outside looking in. For me, after seeing Noah Brown there, I'm ecstatic as could be to see Pickens.
I think Pickens is a big deal because if you look at Dallas honestly, before you added Pickens, and this is why I had such an issue with you guys not taking Tyler Warren. Like there was CeeDee Lamb and nobody. So there's nobody after CeeDee Lamb. You can only go to the same guy so many times. And I think Pickens helps a lot. I think it helps Dak a lot. And I think it will impact you guys greatly. I actually do. I see you much closer to Washington now after this move than beforehand. I think you guys, I think you're going to compete for second place.
Don't get me wrong. I wanted Tyler Warren too because I looked at that and said he can be a weapon that we don't have. Because
if you would have gotten Tyler Warren and then you added Pickens, now you have 3 passing weapons.
Yeah, but
scary,
but
man.
you know what? You
I
had
get you
Mr.
need a
Beast
guard. I
talking
get it.
about 100 men versus a gorilla. We can't get 100 men to take care of Jalen Carter, man. That defense of yours, what it reminds me of is think back to when Eli Manning had Brandon Marshall.
Strahan.
He had Sterling Shepard, and he had Odell in his prime, right? And everybody's like, oh, my God, look at those receivers. How are you going to stop those guys, man? That offense. And I was like, but their offensive line is shit. And even with those 3 great receivers, he didn't have enough time to get the ball to him. And so the Cowboys made the calculation of, we got to be able to compete with that defensive front of yours. You pointed out to me in our conversations that, you guys are building to win Super Bowls, whereas we're trying to build to beat you.
Right.
And that's what we have to do right now because, we have to beat you to have any chance of going anywhere.
I'm glad you didn't get Warren. I'm not gonna lie. That would not have been fun because I saw him as one of the few blue chip players in this draft. Not saying Booker may not turn out to be good. He might, but from an immediate impact, if you would have gotten Warren and then on top of that you just traded for Pickens, I think that would all of a sudden Dak would have 3 legitimate passing targets. I think he's got 2 now. I still think there's questions about your run game. No, I don't think anybody's going to bite into your running game. I think that's going to be a problem.
but here, okay, I tell you what though, and this is I find these kind of comments so funny. So D Jackson says nobody cares what Mark Holmes thinks. Now he's been spamming comments left and right. Apparently, you care enough to leave a comment there, bro. He doesn't speak for Cowboy. I mean, I'm just saying, it's nothing like you suck, man. Nobody watches you as you're watching me.
Pick six, Nick's. And thank you for super chat. He said 500 versus Mark, the best fan rivalry on YouTube. That's that. See that, Mark? We got the best fan.
Shout out to Holly Pierce here. She said she's hearing some rumors about Bryce Hall is being considered. Of course, it's a rumor. Now, what if the Cowboys continued adding somebody like a Bryce Hall out there, and they ended up? I mean, just hypothetical. Let's be crazy and say the Cowboys are going to be Eagle-like, and they say, let's go out and get Jalen Ramsey for a year or two to help that defense. And we went out and got Bryce Hall.
Well, I don't. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think you have a choice because Dak's going to be 32 during the season, right? Mm-hmm. He's going to go. So, I mean, dude, what do you have left window-wise? 3 years? I mean, how many quarterbacks? Yeah. I know there are a few that play 35, 36, but the chances that every quarterback is going to be able to do that. So I look at you and you say you have a 2-year window.
I would agree with that. And I think Jerry Jones is looking at that too and saying he might only have a 2 or 3 year window.
He's 15,500 years old. It's his birthday, by the way. At 15,506, I mean, you know, how long does he have? He reminds me of the old Flyers owner, Ed Snyder, who, you know, was trying to win before he passed away, which he did, and he didn't win.
Yeah.
But I think he wants to win again.
Well, here's the thing that, you know, the problem for the Cowboys is we are going to have some players that we have to pay next year that you can't just all say we're going to put a 5th-year option. They got the 5th-year option on Tyler Smith. They should go ahead and try and get some of these down because A.J. Brown, I don't know why I keep wanting to say A.J. Brown. Pickens, you're going to need to sign him. You know, or you're going to need to sign Bland, or you're going to have to sign Tyler Smith. You can't franchise tag all of these guys, so they're going to have to make some deals. Now, the Cowboys, you know, we got $32 million right now. We got all of our rookies signed. We got Pickens on there, and allegedly there's a handshake deal with Micah Parsons. They just haven't talked to the agent yet, but the agent for him is the same age as David Magenta for Pickens. So you might want to see if you can double deal and get these things put down on paper and get them out of the way. But the Cowboys can use the triggers next year, and they can get another $100 million and do things like the Eagles and push them off in the future. And that's where I honestly believe that it may not be this year, but they should be circling the calendar to say everything for next year. And if it doesn't work, well, Dak Prescott's old, and you're going to hit the reset button anyway.
We'll have to go to the Raiders because the Raiders like quarterbacks that are at the end, right? Gunny Mac, thank you for the super chat. Says Dak's best years are behind him. Now he's forced to throw more on an unproven offensive line. Pickens isn't a game changer. Should have drafted halfback early. Thank God Genty went.
You know, it's funny.
Dre Diesel says, hey, 500, I'm going to the Dallas game at home. If you want to go, bro, I got a hotel hookup and everything. Man, Philly's a great city. I do a 5-day. Maybe, man. We'll talk about it, Dre Diesel. Thank you, my man. We'll talk about it.
I'm seriously looking at that game of going to Philadelphia. I do have a couple of friends that are Eagle fans that are rather big. And I said, don't worry, we'll look out for you.
They're going to protect you?
They said they will. See, my worry is, you know, it's not all of the Eagle fans, okay? Yes, I cuss y'all out and tell you're a piece of crap and all that. It's not the everyday Eagle fans. There's some ones out there that are a little bit crazy that really believe that we hate each other and that they have to kill me. You know, and my face is recognizable, so I can see me in Philly. There he is! And it's just going to be one or two crazy mother humpers out there.
Well, I've been told that if I ever show up in Dallas Stadium, I'm going to get punched in the face.
You are not.
So, no. Somebody said, if I ever see you at Dallas, I'm punch your face. Well, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Although I will say, like when I was in Kansas City, this mountain of a man, you know, looked like you wouldn't want to see him in an alleyway, and he was wearing Eagles gear, and he goes, Mark Holmes, and I was like, what? He's like, I watch you all the time, man. I love you. I was like, oh. Shit, I thought I was about to get killed, man. That shit gets scary sometimes. But on a real, okay, you've talked about my team, and we both agree we are not worthy of being the Eagles quality-wise. But do you honestly believe that with the 11 losses that you've had, that your team is just as good as it was last year? Or do you think you've taken a step back?
I don't necessarily think that right now that you can say they're just as good, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But I feel like that most of the things that we've done were planned a year ahead of time. So they already had a replacement for Milton Williams. They knew what they wanted to do there. They knew what they wanted to do with, losing Josh Sweat. I think that if you look at a guy like Jalix Hunt, right? Jalix Hunt played and produced just about the same as Josh Sweat did in the playoffs. Nolan Smith broke out in the playoffs. So if these guys continue to play early on, it may take a while, but I don't think necessarily they're as good. But I don't think they fell off as much. Like, Sills acts like they're going to win 5 games or something. Like, I don't think
he
they
thought that
fell
last
off
year too.
that much, Huh?
He thought that last year. He kept saying that you weren't going to win 8 games.
Yeah, he says that every year. But it's like I don't think we've fallen off away that much. And I don't look at the other teams in the league. And honestly, I said, who really scares me? Like, who's gotten so much better, right? I think Detroit is pretty much what Detroit was. Mm-hmm. I think the Rams are slightly better, but they could, Barkley had 4 runs of over 50 yards in 2 games versus the Rams.
Yeah.
Okay, if you can't stop the run, what are you going to do? And then I hear people say, well, this year they're coming to stop the run on the Eagles. Well, I mean, what happened last year? Teams knew every week the Eagles were going to run the ball and they couldn't stop it. So saying you're going to do it and then doing it are 2 different things. I don't think anybody has caught up with the Eagles. I really don't. And then, look, I think getting like Ojulari and Uche, like these rotational guys, I think they've got enough depth. I think they'll be okay.
Well, that's the
thing. And then, of course, another year of Jalen Carter, right? Where's he going year 3? I mean, how much was Milton Williams putting up great numbers because he was one-on-one every time he was blocked, and Jalen Carter was taking everything on. So, I think the real question for the Eagles are going to be 2 positions, safety and corner, because they let C.J. Gardner-Johnson go, which I thought was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like something you need to do. And then, you lose Darius Slay. Can Ringo play that position? And if not, will Dory Jackson be good enough? There's talks that we're talking to the Dolphins about Ramsey. I don't know if that's true or not, but
that's a lot of money for old.
Well, the thing with Ramsey, he ran Vic out of he ran our defensive coordinator out of Miami, so now he wants to come play with him. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then we're hearing, the big thing like last day or 2 is Justin Simmons wants to be in Philly. He's like trying to get on the Eagles roster. So we'll have to see what they add there. But I think if you deal with those 2 positions, I think the Eagles are going to be fine. So in what I guess I'm saying is I think they're not as good as last year, but I don't think they have to be as good because I don't think anybody's caught them.
Well, Willie wants to know, what do you think about losing Kellen Moore and how that affects you?
That's a great question. I think that if we know the Eagles want to run the ball, the Eagles have brought in a fullback. The Eagles also brought in A.J. Dillon, more backs, right? So they're going to try to run. I think the way their offense is going to play, I think they'll be fine. If you were looking for like a big passing game that was, next generation type thing, yeah, it might be a problem. But the Eagles are going to be pretty much, we're going to run it down your throat. And what are you going to do about it? So I don't know how much it'll affect us.
Yeah, hold on. See, Holly is bringing up the biggest loss for the Eagles, and especially for us fans, and that is Gainwell being gone. We're going to miss your meltdowns. No. Oh, come on.
Dude. Well, there's always somebody on the team that will get it. It's been Gainwell the last few years. I could not be more happy. And I don't say that in a bad way against Gainwell, but I didn't think he was the greatest backup running back for us, and I didn't understand the way they used him. Getting AJ Dillon, hopefully he stays healthy. I mean, look, just think about it. Like, you got AJ Dillon, you got Saquon Barkley, you got Hurts, what he could do in the running game. You know how many teams, and then that offensive line, how big they are. How many teams by the fourth quarter are going to be tired, dog ass tired, and we should be able to wear teams down. We really should. So you may know what we're going to do, but we're going to do it, huh?
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what you see. You see the old '90s Cowboys,
but football
drive you crazy.
Football, crazy shit happens. If I had $1 for every time they said that's the Super Bowl favorite, they're going back, I could go make it rain, or at least make it drizzle in the club. I don't know about make it rain, but I could at least make it drizzle. We all looked at San Francisco last year and said, yeah, they're going to be really good in a juggernaut. And all of a sudden, Christian McCaffrey gets hurt, and Ayuk gets hurt, and then they're ass.
Yeah, it's weird, though, because if you look at the NFL, the teams that lose in the NFC or teams that lose in the Super Bowl always seem to struggle that next year. Mm-hmm. Not the teams that win it, the teams that lose it. It mentally, I think it just does something to you, because I think it's hard to recover. We beat Chiefs. They were on the verge of 3 in a row. They were about the three-peat. So, it's not like we beat some team that just got there because the Chiefs weren't good and tired because they had gone to Super Bowl the year before. Dre Diesel, Dave from Super Chat goes, Ojulari is a beast. Makuba is going to be great. The only chance in health teams will have against us if we can't fill cornerback number 2. Yeah, I think that's the real question. And now Dallas has got themselves, it'll be Cooper DeJean on CeeDee Lamb, I guess, right? CeeDee's in slot most of the time.
Well, this is going to open up a lot of options for the Cowboys. And the biggest, I know Dak gets, nobody likes Dak. Dak sucks and all that. But I tell you what, with Dak, the Cowboys are never really awful. I know playoffs are a different story and stuff. But the biggest problem for the Cowboys is it's depth. You know that you have a rotation of guys that, you got guys that could be starting that are sitting on the bench. The Cowboys, we always have a few Pro Bowl players and everything else, and that's the knock on us because we're the Cowboys and, every one of our fans vote for Pro Bowlers. But once you get past that first level of guys, the players that we're bringing in are, $1 million guys that are no names or USFL guys or, guys that can't really play well. We had no names that nobody heard of last year, literally out on the field. Pickens will win you games and lose you games due to his temper, but for Dallas, giving up for him is definitely a worthwhile gamble. That's from We the Ones, Eagle fan. Thank you for that super chat. Willie says, Philly.500, Kansas City did stop Barkley in the Super Bowl. Yeah, but they couldn't stop everybody, unfortunately.
Well, that's right. That's right. They did. They did a great job against Barkley. One of the few teams that did it. And then what happened? This was my argument yesterday. Well, Jalen Hurts took over and tore him up in the passing game.
Well, the reality is they had to put 8 men in the box. So you're making the argument on why you go out and get Pickens, because you ended up basically being able to say, I got A.J. Brown and I got Devontae Smith, 2 great guys. Who are you going to cover if I've got a great running back and I've got to put 8 men in there? One of these guys are going to kill you. You can't stop them all. And all we've ever had is CeeDee Lamb.
And that's my argument yesterday. When Sills is like, talking about the Eagles' passing game not being effective, you can't say that the running game does not affect the passing game. The threat of Barkley makes it easier for us to throw the ball.
Exactly. It doesn't mean that you're great, but it's a lot easier.
But you can't hold it against the Eagles, was my point I was trying to make. Like, you can't hold that. Like, he holds it against the Eagle. You can't hold it against us because of that. You understand?
I hear what you're saying. It's like Troy Aikman back in the 90s only had 1 season with over 20 TD passes.
And Troy Aikman's a Hall of Famer?
He's a Hall of Famer, okay? 3 Super Bowl wins. But, I look at it and say, everybody's like, well, Troy Aikman's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in football, and I agree. But I don't know that he's winning Super Bowls without that offensive line and having Emmitt Smith. And so the question you have to look at is Jalen Hurts winning a Super Bowl if he's with a lesser talent? And I have to say no. I don't. And this is the argument for the Cowboys. Is Pat Mahomes winning a Super Bowl with the talent the Cowboys have?
Yes.
No, he had
Some
more.
of the talent he had? Yeah,
No.
I think so.
No,
You guys-
Kansas City's defenses
We're
have
not
been
gonna-
underrated. They've had some really. They didn't show up this year, but Kansas City has had some great defense. If it wasn't for that defense, they wouldn't beat the 49ers the year
Years
before.
ago, they beat us because they beat us 2 years ago. I thought because of their defense.
Exactly.
Even though Hurts had a great game, they still I thought made enough plays, especially against the run. Eric, remember for 12 months. Thanks so much. Good to see Cowboy fans back in the day de lose. Like I think that's what it is, Mark. I think us Eagle fans.
Wait a minute.
Missed
Hold on.
this.
Wait.
We've missed.
Wait.
No, wait. We've missed this. You went
shit.
quiet.
It's my
You went
fault.
quiet.
You
went quiet.
you realize
Season
I am no. You realize I'm the good luck charm for the Eagles. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. I still have the towel.
Yeah, but no, hold up. You remember I got that Joe Barty signed by Jalen Hurts for you.
Yes, I do.
Was it Miles Sanders?
Miles Sanders and Hurts. Yeah.
And now we got Miles Sanders. Okay. And he's
Yeah.
been pretty
Nice.
good since that time, isn't it?
Jalen?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jalen's great.
Yeah.
Miles.
And
Miles
then
had
I
a
messed
great
up.
year and
Then I messed up and I did the one ring chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And then you win the freaking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And
You went quiet though. You've been quiet for a long time.
okay, no more
It's
crazy Eagle shit. I think I'm giving
it's
you
fine.
luck. That's what it is. Because I believe the first
ain't
Super
getting it
didn't I
back.
send you something for the first Super Bowl?
Yeah, you sent me the towel.
Yeah. Damn, Cowboys Nation. I've been the one giving the freaking Eagles the good luck.
Now we got a dynasty in the
Oh,
making.
shit. Yeah, I tell you what. You win another one in the next couple of years, you have to start saying, yeah. You got. I said it after you guys won that Super Bowl. You guys are the closest thing that I can remember to the Cowboys of the 90s.
I want to ask you about that real quick because I've made the argument that the Eagles' offensive line is the best line I've seen since Dallas in the 90s. What do you think overall of the Eagles' offensive line?
They're good. My God, they're
Yeah.
good. I don't know that they're as good as, I mean, you think about Larry Allen, you think about Eric Williams, you think about Specnowski, you think about Guggen, Tuane. They were some beasts that were just mauling over. I mean, Nate Newton. But your Eagles offense, man, it makes me sick to see how good they are. They don't literally miss a beat. The tush push is just unstoppable with the push that they get up front. And that's why you guys are good, because you have that offensive line. And our offensive line has been in flux really since about 2015, 2016 was really the peak of the Cowboys offensive line. And since that time, you had Hillian-Barr syndrome happening to Travis Frederick. You had Tyron Smith after the 2017 season. He just started breaking down and missing 3 or 4 games every year. And then, of course, Zach Martin was the stable one. But we've had, Jason Peters, you guys ejected him a couple of years before, and we bring him in here, and he can't start for more than 25 games in a game. 25 plays in a game. So we have been just kind of grabbing whatever and sticking it in and thinking that's going to be good enough. This year, I think the Cowboys have actually said that's not going to work anymore. We actually have to get younger guys that are going to be able to play and hold up, and we'll see how it works.
We'll see, yeah. House Cat member for 13 months says Michael Anthony Fitness is patrolling like a teacher during a drug test. I got some super chats here. Let me answer real quick. Gunny Mac, thank you for the super chat. With Baby Rhino, Jalen Carter, Vanilla Gorilla, Ty Robinson, a bunch of Philly dogs being led by the bold eagle. Philly Zoo is about to feast. Time to switch sides, Mark.
Never.
Mark
Never.
he can't do it.
No.
James, thank you for super chat. He goes, Philly, my man. Of course, Mark's great format. I hate the Cowboys, but like more harmonious exchange between you guys. We're all in the best
There's
division.
no games going on.
They're saying we're getting along today.
Because there's no games going on. I mean, I've been in Philadelphia training camp at the link and literally walked all the way down to the bottom with Joe Boo. But because there's no games, nobody beat the shit out of me. I was there for the draft. But let it be Cowboys week, and I bet you I get my teeth kicked in.
You won't. You would be fine. The only way you would have a problem is if you're up 30 on the Eagles. You're up 30 on the Eagles. You better leave early. Otherwise, I think you're okay.
Oh,
shit. You're going to take the shit. Just take it, and you'll be fine. No, you'll be fine. Flip the Birds, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, Cowboys ain't coming for anything. Pickens will be fighting with Dak and Lamb on the sideline by week 6. Eagles sweeping the division. Hurts didn't have Barkley in 2022 and still went to the Super Bowl. That's true. That's true. Now, let me ask you something. What with the schedule coming out, like in a week and a half?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want out of that schedule? Where do you want to open? And, like, are you worried about it? It seems like to me, even though you have a 4th place schedule, right, or whatever, third place schedule, it seems like that the way the division set up who they're playing, it seems like there's some tough games no matter what.
Ours is not as tough as yours are. You've got some division winners, but you never know who's going to be good and who's going to be bad the next year. So if you're asking me, I would rather us have a tough schedule and get battle tested and hopefully make the playoffs than having a cake schedule where we just run through everybody and then we get punched in the face. When it comes to playoffs. So what you can say is whoever comes out of the NFC East, as long as they're healthy, will definitely be one of the tougher teams in the NFL. The question will be I think Washington's coming back down to earth, man. I think Washington's going to be that team that makes the playoffs and then doesn't the next year. Now, Commander fans don't come after me, but, to me, this has got, the Giants written all over them where they made the playoffs, made some noise, played good, and then, boom, back to being ass. Their defense is not that good.
Well, I mean, I know Washington fans. I mean, they are out of the closet, boy. I haven't seen so many Washington fans in years. Most of them had turned in their burgundy and gold for the Ravens colors. So Washington's back. I'm not sure if I think that they're what they. I don't know how good I think they are either. I thought they made a mistake. I think getting Pickens is better than getting Deebo Samuel. I thought that DK Metcalf was the move to me. Deebo Samuel doesn't really scare me right now. Not as a wide receiver. And he, his body's been breaking down. He hasn't been healthy. I don't know.
You would think. Here's the thing. This is. I keep having fights with Momo and everything else. You would think last year with Ayuk going down that Deebo Samuels would be stepping up to take care of the Lions' share of it. But Deebo wasn't able to. And you looked at him when he looked like he had a food baby there, where he was kind of out of shape. I don't know that Deebo is a great receiver anymore. And, of course, they got Michael Gallup, who retired for a year, and feels that his knee's in better shape and things. But he hasn't been good, when he played for us the last 2 years after getting the contract. Yeah. So I don't know that they are as great as they think they are. And then, of course, it's a second-year slump.
Yeah, you don't know how he's going to be in second year. That's true. I mean, we saw that kind of with Stroud last year, didn't we? I mean, good, but,
And Jordan Love, too.
And Jordan Love, yeah, it's true. K. Roberts says, I don't know if they are really back. We have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see. Bald Eagle David Super Che goes, Washington equals the Texans of last year. Yeah, I kind of feel like that, too. I do. Philly.500, I will call this now. Jalen Hurts starts against Dallas away. Will be 19 of 25, 215 yards with 3 touchdowns and a win at Cherry World at home. Will be 23-30, 260 yards, 4 touchdowns, and we're calling it. All right. I mean, I'll take it. You know what I mean?
I'm sure you would take a victory there.
Yeah, why not?
Anytime you can be, my head still hurts from that kick in the head.
I kind of want to play you guys. I want to kind of play you week 1 because my fear is that you guys are going to collapse late in the season. And then when we get to one of the things I did not like last year, I'm going to admit, I did not like playing you guys with you so down and depressed and defeated. Like you guys, and that's why I'm glad that you're on here. I'm glad that you got Pickens. It's nice to see you have something to talk about. You've been quiet, man. You checked out last year early. Like week 6, you guys were checked out.
Man, that shit hurt last year.
We played 2 games. You guys didn't even care. You didn't care whether you won.
That literally hurt my soul last year. When I went to Dallas to see you guys beat the crap out of us, it was just like a low point in my life. Because, I mean, seriously, that was about, you had Jerry Jones refusing to put curtains up. CeeDee Lamb's got the sun in his eyes. The Eagles mollywop us. And I'm just like, I spent all this money to be down here for this shit. It was just bad. I dare say that the NFL world is happy as shit that the Cowboys made this move, because now it's got something for everybody to talk about, because now it's, who's the best duos out there as far as receiving corps. Nobody was talking about that kind of shit before yesterday. Nobody was. And now, of course, Pickens, he's a cancer, and the Cowboys made a mistake, and this. So it's now given everybody some life to have something to talk about. I hope that there's more to talk about.
I see all those, and they got us ranked 5th. It's like, how could we be ranked 5th in these things?
Because your receivers can sit on the sidelines reading books because they don't get used.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're not good. That doesn't mean they're not. When they have to perform, they do. If they get less opportunities and they do more with less opportunities, how can you hold that against them? My man, Devontae Smith, has won a Heisman. He's won a Super Bowl. I mean, he's won on every level. A.J. Brown. I mean, they had A.J. Brown listed as the 3rd best receiver over Malik Neighbors, number 1. He's had 1 year.
So by that logic, then Carson Wentz, he's got 2 Super Bowl rings right now? 3? So
one. He's got 1, I think.
Didn't he get one with Kansas City as a backup?
No, he wasn't. I don't think he was with Kansas City that year. He was with the Rams. No, he didn't get one. Sure? Yeah, but I hear rumors he's coming to Dallas.
Yeah, because that's people trying to get some clicks and and shit. Some of it's actually crazy this year how much bullshit that you get now with the proposed trades and this, that, and the other. It's just like people don't even try to even get a story that's even close to being real. That dude up in Cleveland with the bullshit, that they're actually in the process of negotiating the trade between Dak Prescott.
That was my favorite one.
It was like, come on, dude. He's got a no trade clause. If he's going to waive it, it's not going to be to go to Cleveland where quarterbacks' careers go to die.
Yeah, I feel bad for Shedeur Sanders. He was coming to Philly. If they don't take him there, I think the Eagles are taking him right there. I really do. I think the Eagles were going to take him and keep him on the roster. Bubba says Debo looked like he was pregnant at the Super Bowl. He did. He did.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know that he is going to be everything that the that the Commanders think he's going to be. They got Scary Terry and they got Michael Gallup there, but I don't know that Debo's going to be the game changer that they need.
Dirty Sanchez, is this one of your guys? Don't shave your face. It makes me excited. I got some Diddy oil. I don't know what you're talking about. It's a wrap. Thank you for Super Chat. He goes, our schedule's harder this or last year. No, our schedule's going to be much harder this year. This year. But we'll see how
many games you got you winning.
How many games I think we're winning? I want to see how the schedule falls. But I think between 12 and 14 games, I expect to win. I still think, like I said, I still think we should win most of our games. But we'll see. Well, let me take a few questions. Anybody got any questions for Mark before we get out of here? And then we'll let you guys go. I know Mark's got to get back to whatever you're doing. Great.
Got to get back to celebrating because my daughter just passed her final to become a registered nurse.
Oh, yeah? That's good.
Yeah, I'm going to need her to take care of me.
Right? Great Duke Bothers. What's going on? He goes, the guys need to stop getting along so well. I'm here for blood.
Oh, that'll happen as soon as the season gets here.
Yeah, when we get a little closer to the season and Mark says something really stupid, well,
that the Eagles aren't repeating in the division.
I'll say
that now.
Stupid.
I say the Eagles still stink. Okay,
who's going to beat them? Who's going to beat them in the division? Come on,
Cowboys.
Who do you believe? Kyle Davis Super Chat goes, Philly, a dark horse team to keep an eye on is the Cardinals. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Mark, you think Pickens will get more yards than Smith? Devontae Smith.
Yes.
He's talking about. Yes, he does.
I think he does because you're going to be relying more on the run. We don't have that running game, so you're going to be passing more. We're going to be passing a lot more. Sorry, you guys pass 23 times a game. I ain't mad at you. I wish that my team didn't have to throw as much as they do. But you will rely on the running game a lot more than we'll be able to.
Yeah. Ryan says Mark is as delusional as ever.
Thank you very much.
Joey says, please ask Mark, do the 90s Cowboys win anything without Emmett? Using Barkley as an excuse is a dumb argument. So without Emmett, do you win?
I don't think we do. That running game is key. And people don't understand how key it is to be able to have that running game. The Super Bowl proves that right there because you looked at it. As much as everybody says, well, Barkley didn't do anything. Yeah, but sometimes you need that guy to be a decoy. If I know that I have to worry about stopping the run, it changes how I can play on everybody else. The Cowboys running game didn't scare anybody, so we're going to double cover CD. Now, that may still be the case this year, but you can't double cover CD and Pickens at the same time. If you do, then you're going to be more effective running the football because you can't put everybody everywhere. Dirty Sanchez, Philly.500, give a... I'm not going to say that, Dirty. Come on, man.
What did he say?
Oh, man. He wants to make sure you get them sex visits there, bro.
What
to
the hell
Diddy.
are you talking about?
That's why he's Dirty Sanchez, man. Conjugal
Joseph,
visits to
man,
Diddy.
thank you.
Damn.
Joseph, thank you for the super chat, my man. Appreciate you. He says, the Cowboys got to show they can compete. Everyone thinks the Eagles are going to be overtaken. I want to know by who. The Eagles are the most disrespected Super Bowl champs ever. I think people forget how young this team is. I agree with completely. People act
show me.
Just lucked
Win
into
back to
it,
back.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we will. We will.
You know, you know what? The way you shut people up is by winning.
Yeah,
that's what you do.
True.
You know, you get punched. You get punched in the mouth. Punch them back. You know, and if our Cowboys, we don't like hearing people talking shit about us, then we need to do something about it and do some winning.
Yeah. Nuclear Taco says that you banned him. He wants to be unbanned.
I've never seen a Nuclear Taco. Who the hell is Nuclear Taco? Okay. I don't know a Nuclear Taco. Sorry.
Right. Nick Yak says Mark is a lot smarter than 500. What do you mean? What do you see? What do you see? What do you mean?
Not smart enough not to be a Cowboy fan.
Yeah. Bro, this guy knows these guys are these are brutal comments. Anyways, I will let you go, Mark. I want to thank you for coming on today, man.
No problem.
A nice conversation, peaceful conversation.
Because
right?
it's freaking May. Okay, there's no point in getting pissed off in May.
Exactly.
Now come July, August, yeah, then we can start ramping that shit up because we're coming for your meats, Philly. We're coming for your meats.
Coming for the meats. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. A lot could happen from now until the start of the season, so should be interesting. But let me thank everybody for joining us.
Appreciate you, Eagle fans.
Appreciate it.
Assholes.
We're going to get out of here, and with that said, you guys have a great day. Peace.
Nuclear Taco sounds like something that happens in the bathroom.
Nuclear Taco on your channel?
No. What about Holly says a nuclear taco sounds like an explosion that happens in the bathroom after eating one.
Right? Exactly.
Woo!
Okay,
I love it.
We out.
All right,
guys. See yous.
Thank everybody for being here. I appreciate y'all. Especially, we're going to stay away from them nuclear tacos, man. We're not trying to blow up the bathroom. And, of course, you know, this is Philly.500's one video for the day. You know, I